Hey, welcome to the first episode or podcast of the current name is Bum Bum, or welcome to the welcome to the podcast. My name is Sid Butler. I'm here with Erik Lee Snyder. We'll have a lot of edits, I'm sure. I'm here with Erik. He plays bass in the band Drowners. They're here from New York City on the Lower East Side. They have a new record coming out, and I'm very happy to be sitting here with Erik. Hi, Erik.
Hi. How are you?
I'm great. So this show basically is about bass players, and I don't think they get any love. So I thought it was time to start asking bass players some interesting questions. As a bass player myself, I have a long list of things that I love about the bass and hate about the bass, and things that I get questioned about all the time, like, hey, it's only 4 strings, why not play guitar? But I just want to talk to Erik about who his heroes were and why he decided to play bass, and hopefully it'll be helpful and entertaining. Erik, how are you?
Getting over a cold.
Cool.
A little nasal.
Nice.
So, good.
For my first question for you is, why do you have a favorite kind of bass?
Favorite kind?
Yeah. Like if you went to a bass store or guitar store and you saw 1,000 basses on the wall, is there one that you would point to the most? Like, I like the sound of that.
I like jazz basses and precision. I like other basses. There's no other ones that actually feel right to play. I always wanted a Rickenbacker, but finally got one like as a loner on like the last tour we were on, and I could not play it to save my life. But Bruce Foxen played it, and that's why I went on.
Yeah, I never liked the sound of Rickenbackers. It's funny.
They're really hard. The bridge is like really high.
Right. And
it's hard to play fast, for me at least.
Did you have any bass heroes growing up?
Yeah, I guess when I was a kid it was like, I grew up in hardcore and stuff, so it was like Daryl Jennifer and Harley Flanagan. It's like that kind of...
Harley is the bass player of the Chromax.
Yeah. And Daryl from the Bad Brains. Right. But, like when I was younger, it was like kind of playing stuff like that. But as I got a bit older, it became like Peter Hook and Bruce Foxen from the Jam, and I don't know, then I got into like krautrock stuff, and it's just kind of like a mix of...
Do you think the Jam, if they replaced the Jam with a different bass player, do you think his look was important?
Foxton?
Yeah. I do think the Jam's success would have been the same if he had a different vibe.
Not playing, we're just talking look?
Total sex look. Because it was very specific.
Yeah. I don't know. Bruce Foxen kind of looked nerdy. He was like this 80s nerdy, like mullet haired kind of.
But let's say he was like a big, strong kind of guy, or I feel like his look is so specific to the Jam and makes the Jam.
Yeah.
And his bass playing is so specific.
Yeah, his bass playing is like it's totally unique, and I think he was like a guitar player, right? And that was the thing in Jam. I think I might be wrong here, but
make it up. Let's go.
yeah. No, I feel like that's what happened. But it was like the first time I kind of heard that first Jam record. I was like, that. Paul Weller's guitar obviously sticks out too. Everyone does, because they're like this powered 3-piece that just, I don't know, those bass parts kind of stuck with me. And I remember even when we were starting Drowners, it was like that was kind of my reference point for sort of what wasn't like cheesy, but still like very much like punk and pop, and I don't know, super jumpy. Like,
no, yeah, for sure. It's funny as a bass player who, what I grew up with and connected as well to, Andy Warwick and some other, Peter Hook as well, and even Paul Simonon from The Clash. Or
yeah, totally.
It's such a funny how you connect to a certain sound, but like I can't remember the bass player from Poison.
Yeah, right.
I have no connection to him.
Right.
They were a huge band at the time, but there was no connection to. I couldn't even point him out of the lineup. And then the other, why the bass?
I actually started on guitar, and I guess I was probably about 9 or 10, and I just like wanted to play like Metallica songs like immediately, and it was like you're like with your guitar teacher playing like Mary Had a Little Lamb, and I was just like I can't do this, like, so I put that down, and my friend, like my childhood best friend, got a drum kit. So I would go over to his house and kind of bang around the drums, and he was sort of naturally gifted, still a drummer now. He's great. But I kind of, there was something about the drums and like the rhythmic sort of just like beating on drums that I really liked, but I still can't to this day like kind of coordinate upper and lower. So I don't know, I ended up at the bass, and it was kind of like, all right, well, you play the drums on the drums and I'll play the drums on the bass, and that kind of...
Yeah, I'm sort of fascinated. It's very similar to me growing up in DC. My friend picked up a guitar. I was like, I'm the one who's playing guitar. Yeah. And then my other friend was like, what? My dad got me a drum set, so if you want to be in a band, you got to play bass. Yeah. And I remember having a conversation being like, well, I want to play guitar too. And then I just picked up a bass and just felt right. Yeah. Just sort of, felt, but I feel like there's something to bass players. There's a certain temperament, there's a certain personality trait that I'm trying to explore about bass players, why we are sort of this kind of personality.
I feel like the bass players are like pretty private.
Yeah, but also, they kind of want to be in the limelight, but they kind of don't. You know, pay attention to me, but not too much.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you? So where did you grow up?
Right outside of Philadelphia, southern New Jersey.
Did you have an identity to Philly's music scene?
Yeah,
New Jersey or even New York. Is there?
I started going to shows in Philly when I was, I don't know, probably about 14, I guess.
Was there a local band that you liked there?
Yeah, when I was around there, I guess my favorite of the bands, like growing up, it was one of the first bands I saw was Ink and Dagger.
Oh yeah,
and they were like, it was cool because I was like, I guess like 13 or 14, and they used to have shows at that Unitarian church. I think they still do. Yeah. But I remember seeing like all of Ink and Dagger just like kind of like cruise out from the back of the church with like painted faces, and like a time when like, macho hardcore and all this stuff was kind of going on, and they just came out like these weirdos that were all super high on drugs or seemed to be, right, and playing like way more of like a, I don't know, discordant like DC vibe kind of thing. They were definitely my favorite band of that time in Philly.
Did you ever make up to New York to see shows in New York?
Yeah, once I got a little, like, I guess like midway through high school. Once I hit high school, like New York kind of became more accessible. Philly was so easy from where I grew up. It was like $1.50, and you take the train, and it's like you're there in 15 minutes. So Philly was really kind of home base. But yeah, I eventually, I think like probably about my like sophomore, junior year of high school, we started coming up to like CBGBs to go to shows, and there was like whatchamacallit, what the fuck was it on St. Mark's? Why can't I remember the name of it?
High school.
Coney Island High. Yeah.
Yes, high school. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I would come up to New York to go see shows around there, Wetlands, and.
Did you get to see Harley ever play with Chromax?
Yeah. There was like a bunch of times actually, because I guess him and JJ kind of reconciled for a minute.
Yeah, there was something he came, but didn't Harley come to a knife at Webster Hall or
that
something?
That was like sort of recently, I think. Yeah. I don't think I've seen the Chromags in probably 10 years, but. Right.
That's funny. On this Drowners record coming out, is there a song that you're like, man, I just love this bass line? Is there? Yeah,
there's a couple. It's way more like, it's a different kind of record, I think. It's way more, it still has like the energy, I think, that like is the foundation of our band, but there's a groove to a lot of stuff now, as opposed to just kind of like blasting through these really fast kind of pop songs.
Is it nice playing with DJ, having a drummer in the band that you can rely on and sort of connect with?
DJ's great. I mean, me and DJ played in hardcore bands here when we were like kids. You know, I met DJ when he was 17 and I was 19. So, and that was our first band that we had together.
It was called 19 and 17?
Yeah. No, so, it's really cool. As we were looking for drummers, I mean, he was like kind of the first dude that came to mind for me. And I hadn't played with him in ages. But, yeah, I mean, it's kind of amazing to have him in the band now.
My next question, I have a terrible disease where I'll be having a conversation with someone in a restaurant and I'll just start hearing the bass line and picking it out and trying to play it, and it's awful. It's so rude. I'm a horribly rude person, but yeah, I'll be at dinner somewhere, all of a sudden in the music in the background, I'll be like, oh, that was that bass line, and it haunts me. Something like that ever happened to you? Yeah, just like I can't stop hearing it all the time.
I don't think that affects me in the same way.
It's gonna happen now. You'll be at dinner with your girlfriend and be like, hold on, baby, hold on a second.
Sid infected me with his weird bass obsession.
Are there any bass players around today in current bands that you're like, oh man, he's the best bass player?
He left Interpol, but I think, yeah, Carlos, who was playing in Interpol for years. Pretty mind-blowing dude. Yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch. He's kind of the first one that comes to mind of like sort of recent bands, because I love like disco and post-punk and all that kind of stuff, and yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty if I was able to kind of.
If you had any advice to new bass players, what would it be?
I don't know, kind of explore rhythmic music, right. You know? Don't go like, I want to play in a punk band, so I'm going to listen to every punk record recorded from like, 1977 to 82. It's like, I think the more well-rounded you are in like percussive music in general, it kind of just creates a broader vocabulary on it's like, yeah, sure, I play in this like, kind of post-punky band or whatever, but it's like, there's a lot to learn from like, listen to Fela Kuti or like listening to Can records or listening to, and Neil Diamond. I don't know. It's like, just don't sell yourself short on one genre of music.
Is there a bass line, Handsome Devil by the Smiths, that bass line, I love playing it. Every time I get nervous or anxious, I'll stay at home, like pick up a bass, but just start playing that bass line. Yeah. Do you have a bass line that's sort of a go-to as your bass line? Is there a bass line for your bass line?
I feel like they're all these weird, like, just sort of Can bass lines, but it's like this weird stuff I've picked up from like listening to Mother Sky 9,000 times, and so yeah, a lot of them are just like, I just have these like kind of riffs that I've had for years and years that like I just kind of fall back on these things.
Right.
I don't know.
Do you? What about bass players wearing shorts? How do you feel about that?
Men wearing shorts, I'm just not into. Unless there's water involved.
Right.
Yeah, I'm kind of against shorts.
And did you have a sort of style icon? I feel like in DC there was a guy named Seth Lorenzi that for me was the best bass player in DC that I knew, and the way he thought about the bass for me was the most exciting. But then Andy Rourke's bass lines were, I loved how he connected to Johnny Marr and the sort of tapestry of those two together, and I felt his style was very important. And then Paul Simonon from The Clash, his vibe.
Yeah, I'm Simonon.
He seemed always confused. His amp was always broken, or every Clash video, he's like, "What's wrong with my amp?"
Yeah.
but his vibe was the best. And I feel like everyone needs a hero, then someone that is a great bass player, and then sort of their style vibe. And when I see bands today and they have a bass player wearing shorts. When I see a bass player wearing shorts, I really question who they are and where they came from and why. I feel like they were someone else and happened to be playing bass.
Do you see that many bass players wearing shorts?
All the time.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, I can't help it. If I go see a young band play and the guy's wearing shorts, it's hard not. Yeah, it's almost over.
You have a thing with like, I remember first meeting you and you were talking about like, oh, is your bass like super low?
Yeah.
Super high? Like,
yeah.
Which guy are you?
Yeah, which guy? And for you, do you
right in the middle?
Do you play with the pick? Do you play with your fingers?
Yeah, I play with a pick most of the time in drowners, but left to my own devices, actually I play with my fingers a bit, but.
And what about slapping and popping? How do you feel about that?
Well, there's a time and a place for it. I don't do it. I've never really practiced doing it because I just like the sound of it is like unsettling to me. But there's especially in like certain like R&B stuff, and there is a time and place for it where it actually really fits and sounds really good. I'm just not that kind of player.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Yeah.
I have a hard time. I like the note of the bass, sort of the frequency.
Yeah.
That's what gets me going. I feel like when you slap and pop, you're stopping that frequency.
Yeah.
I understand how percussive it is and how important it is. It's just I never connected to the soul of it.
Yeah, it's kind of its own thing, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what my thing is about God, I keep coming back to drummers. I don't know what it is about bass players in shorts, especially shorts and sandals. I'm writing you off.
What about cargo shorts and sandals? Or even better.
I just don't think they're bass players. I feel like they want to be something else.
Yeah.
They want to not even be in a band.
Yeah.
It's a weird visual thing.
It's emasculating, you know?
Yeah, I want my bass players to be...
I want a manly bass player.
Or I want you to be 300 pounds and be sitting on a stool and play like a 12-string that's all bass, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have also a bit of a hang-up on 5-string basses.
Yeah, me too, actually.
It's like you can't do it with 4.
Yeah.
You need that extra appendage.
Gotta go really low, man. Or really high. I don't know.
Well, I'm so excited that you are here and doing this with me.
Sure.
And do you have any questions? Do you want to do a shout out to any other bass players out there?
Shout out? No, I'm out of shout outs, I think.
Right. Shout out to your dog.
Shout out to my dog who's sick at home.
Awesome. Well, Erik, thank you so much for doing this with me.
Yeah, man.
And I look forward to hearing the record when it comes out. And if you don't know Drowner's previous record, it's out on iTunes and the internet. And I'm sure you can find Erik's stylish playing on YouTube. Everybody, thank you so much.
Thanks.